Oh man, we've got lots of sad boys in the house. Sad boys across the world, as their favorite team did not win LCS. Now, Les, you're not a sad boy.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm TSM Chris, so
You
so
are
it works.
TSM Chris.
Yeah.
Wait, so Grandma picked TL, right?
Grandma, yeah, woman, or the matriarch, however you want to refer to her, did pick TL, and she also picked Flyquest.
Damn.
That feels like picking Flyquest feels like there was no way. Did you tweet that out? Did you tweet it out as soon as they did it, or is that just something? Because that feels like that can't be verified.
No, yeah. I tweeted it out like 12 hours before the match.
Oh god.
Oh
Damn.
yeah. Just take a look at
Does
the
she even
image.
know?
I'll link it to you.
Does she even know what FlyQuest is?
Absolutely fucking not.
Does she even know who Speaker is?
Bless her fucking soul.
Okay.
She's almost 73.
Wait, your grandma's only 73?
Yeah, my mom is 42. Yeah.
Wait, your mom is 42. Wait, my dad is 71. my dad is 72 soon. What do you mean?
I think my grandfather would have been 74, and my
There it is.
Okay. Woman.
Whatever, man. I don't even want to hear it from you.
My dad's 43, my mom's 42.
There's woman up on your screen now.
Yeah, there she is.
That's a banger.
It's not actually her, but you know.
It's a banger. All right. Let's back out of this real quick. All right, man. Well, time to start having her pick the Chinese teams.
Yeah, please.
Put it to the real test.
We need some fucking help over there. I'll tell you. JDG versus TSM might look a little rough. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's a second seed coming in from China.
We haven't.
They're not bad.
We haven't announced, or they haven't announced the draw date, right? I don't think they have. Let me scour the internet. Twitch chat, have they announced the draw date? I really don't remember.
September 15th is my birthday. I'm so excited.
Oh, okay. So it is on a Tuesday next week.
Yeah.
Tuesday next week is the draw. Damn.
Okay.
Everyone in chat up on there. 15.
We gotta pray for that one. Hey,
what is the best opportunity for us in draft? Is there one?
It's so hard. So the problem is for
draw, not draft.
Well, for draw, I'm pretty sure this is how it was last year. I'm not sure if it's like this again, but I'm pretty sure that the first seed from NA is actually pool 2. If they do the pool season, the pool system, which is rough, obviously.
Right.
If you're pool 2, that means that you can get a pool 1. So you can get a group like fucking Damwon, JDG as the first seed from NA. Oh, it's pool 1 now? They actually changed it. Damn. Nice. Wait, why did we get upgraded?
Yeah, I was going to say, why did we change it?
Yeah, let's see. Pool 1 seeds Worlds 2019.
Yeah, and I'm looking for the image.
Yeah, let's see what the pools were last time.
I'm going to time out guy in chat.
What'd you do? Pool, so Leaguepedia Worlds 2019 is probably what I'll do, right? 2019 World Championships. No, play in. No. Main event. No. Okay, there we go. Okay. So you take a look at the trying to support. Okay. So China had C1, C2, Korea, okay. NA had seed 1 and seed 2. Why is there only 2 here? Oh, for the... Who was our 3rd seed last year?
Clutch? They're in plans, I guess.
Clutch. Yeah, that was Jesus.
Oh, okay. They didn't. Okay, I see. Yeah, so no, our NA last year was a pool 1 team. Who was not who from the major
Wait,
region?
I remember it being that there was one, maybe it was 2018, that was like weird where you were like pool 1, but you could get somebody else that was like at the top
In pool.
I'm not sure how. Yeah, or you could get like somebody who was like, was there like 4 pools before? I just remember that it used to be that you could get really fucked in group stage if you were pool 1. Like
Right,
maybe it was 2018. Because 2018 they got like a high Korean seed as pool 1. Okay, yeah. So it was 2018. So in 2018 we got pool 2 because LMS had pool 1 over us. So that meant that TL could get into a group with a pool 1 seed, even though they were like our first seed. So they got
there it is.
the Korean 1 seed.
It's because it was Flash Wolves, baby.
This is the new Alexa.
Yeah.
It's a
Oh,
beauty.
Damn,
okay.
and I guess the thing, so
Alexa,
so
what's
last
on
year
my
it
phone?
actually wasn't that our pool 1 or that we had a pool 2 seed. It was that our pool 1 seed TL actually got like a fucking hard group. They actually just got IG and Damwon, which was like a group that looked pretty doomed.
I think NA. I mean,
last year,
NA at Worlds this year is not going to. I don't think they're gonna. I mean, I don't know if people have expectations for NA this year, but I feel like there's no way. Like with the NA playoff series games like being the way that they did, with the gross polarity that could occur between both the teams, just depending on like drafts or just as series went on, it's just so weird, man. There was no sense of stability in the region, unfortunately. The meta is, I think, the most bland of all of the regions. There's the most problems, like in laning phase and in jungle and all these other things inside of North America. This is like the most doomed I think NA has been going into Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's doomed. I think the main reason why it's doomed, from at least my perspective, is the fact that there's now 4 Chinese teams and 4 European teams.
Yep.
So assuming that we get the same Worlds format again, where it's only 8 teams that get out, you're guaranteed a Chinese and a European team, and 3 out of the 4 groups are going to have a Korean team as well. So like,
and then
you're
NA.
going to get groups. Yeah, and then NA is going to be like the last one. So it's really fucking hard to get out because of the fact that Worlds was changed to give more Chinese teams and more European team slots.
Mhm.
Like, I think that you can potentially get, so like you have to look at like groups that you could potentially get out. Like I could see TSM maybe taking like group stage games off of like a team like Mad Lions or even like Rogue, maybe even Fnatic, if Fnatic like really start running it down, because none of those teams look clean. But it's like, even if you do well against one of those teams, like what happens if the other 2 teams in your group are just Dragon X and Top? Or if you even get the other side, which is even more scary, where like let's say you're
Damwon and JD.
yeah, if you get Damwon JDG, you're fucked. Like whoever gets in a group, if that would be the ultimate group of death. Damwon and JDG in the same group.
Which
So-
team
What about-
do you
I mean-
think?
oh, that's right, yeah.
Which one of these LCS teams do you think are most set up to take on a major Korean team?
I don't think that there's much difference
major
between all 3. Like so TSM did win, right? But they went to 5 games versus TL. They went to 5 games versus Flyquest. TL went to 5 games versus Flyquest. Like all the teams had 5-game series against each other. So I really just think it depends on who gets the best group. I don't think that any of the teams are like substantially stronger than everyone else. Like you have to say TSM's the best because they won, but like all of them are pretty close based on what happened in the playoffs.
I think TSM probably has overall better chances at Worlds though, because if you look at the top laners that are coming into Worlds, FlyQuest is going to have a really rough time, pretty much like regardless of what happens. I think, like even though overall they're pretty much like the same level and they all went to 5 games, I feel like that Achilles heel of FlyQuest at Worlds is going to be way too problematic.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be on tank duty the entire time, and he's got to pick up more tanks. There's some times where he actually has like tank picks that can win him the whole game alone, and he doesn't go for them. In game 4, there was like a Malphite opportunity that was just like the most just godlike Malphite opportunity you'll ever see in your life. I think the enemy team had a mobile AD carry. I forget if it was like Ashe, Jin, whatever it was. It doesn't matter. They had Jace top, which is like fine lane for Malphite. They have Syndra mid, and then they had like an Ashe or a center, like one of those immobile AD carries bot lane. And that's like the Malphite fucking like Craigasm like ultra pick where it's just gonna 1v9 the entire game and he won't go for it there. So if he picks up more tanks, I feel like he could potentially like get through some games. I just think that FlyQuest as a whole just doesn't have like any really, really strong lanes. Like top mid and bot, like Power of Evil's like fine, but he's not going to dominate a lane phase.
Right. He didn't. He had a couple of nice plays. There were a couple times where he tried to go for solo kills onto Bjergsen more than I think Bjergsen did to him, and was an auto attack or two away from picking those up. So I did like the proactivity there within the laning phase in a 1v1 situation by Power of Evil, which is what I did not expect he was going to do in the finals against Bjergsen. But they didn't result in kills, and it didn't quite lead to the impact that they wanted, right? It was like, oh, Bjergsen goes back and recalls and they reset instead of a kill and impact and things of that nature. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, all right, well, you could get TSM, Fnatic and Machi Esports, and then your fourth seed, so maybe LGD or
It could be
or SKT, whoever the Korean rep is, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. That could be like a dream group. Like the fact that you're getting a pool 3 PCS team. Like I actually don't know how strong PCS is. Like I'm not going to pretend like I watched any of that region, but I assume that it's just going to be weaker than China, Korea, and EU. So I assume that if you do get that team in your group, you have the highest chance to get out.
Yeah, Mission is the only name that looks familiar to me. Was Bruce there last year? Well, never mind. I'm the one that's
I do not watch PCS ever. I've not watched one game of PCS the entire year. Period.
Yeah, Mission's
Well,
been
how
around
can you do
for
a
while.
world top 20 list?
Well, the thing is, like, for World Top 20 list, like, I just care about if you watch the 4 major regions, really.
No thanks.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I mean,
done.
for
There you
rioters, like, I see these like top 20 lists from rioters, and I'm like, I don't see you motherfuckers. Like, are you guys actually watching China? Are you watching Korea? Or are you just like being like, oh, like Showmaker sounds like a cool name. Like he sounds like he was pretty good. Oh, like Nuggery was popping off last year at Worlds. Like he's gonna be good again. Like I want to know these people actually watch the games. I need some proof that they actually like watch what they're fucking talking about.
So in my experience, generally what tends to happen with World's Top 20 lists is people talk in pools amongst each other to come up with the list, and they reach out to experts from that region for like layering, like where does this person stand to this person, and they try to do that reference.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I think you could also just probably watch the games. I think that would also be cool. But I mean, that one works as well.
So while I was there, right? While I was there, which was a while ago, and this is when we had Worlds play-ins for the first time, I believe. I remember, I can vouch for, not that other people weren't doing it. I'm not saying that. A lot of times I'll say stuff like this and throw shade. This is just who I remember doing it. Jat did it. Azael did it. And Froskurin was a fucking monster with the VODs. Froskurin and someone else, maybe it was Medic, were absolutely monsters with the VODs and just like constantly. That's what they did. Came in the office.
You just listed off like all my favorite casters. It's probably for a reason. Nice. Like,
well, again,
made a list of like,
right?
The people that I actually respect the most.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because they actually watch the games more than the other ones.
Those were the ones that I was there when I was there that I saw. And again, that was at the time where I was like, oh shit, I'm getting let go. I need to fucking figure out how I'm going to feed myself, right? So I was really bouncing in and out of the office and setting up meetings and talking to one Yitzhak Choi about running Golden Guardians into the ground. So I wasn't always there the whole time. But the times that I was there, Froskurin was just insane, just a monster. It was crazy. So I would give a little bit of credit, especially to the ones that are very vocal about their lists. Vedius as well. Vedius was also in that group. Medic and Medivedi they were killing it. So, but I agree. Like one thing that I respect about what you guys do is not only do you watch those regions, but you stream it. So there isn't like, hey, you know what I've seen and you know what I haven't seen. There's this whole log in your VODs for both of you of like what you've seen and what you haven't seen, which gives you so much more credibility to speak to it. And
yes. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I don't have time to do that, but you guys have.
Then
made
also
the time
like
to
I
do
feel like it's like a whole experience, right? Like the viewers that like watch our live views and stuff like that, like they've seen like, you know, what we've said along the way. They kind of like are forming their own opinions because they're watching more and they're like kind of seeing how players compare and all that stuff. So I feel like it's just like kind of like it's like some like a whole journey you go on where you're like, all right, from the beginning of playoffs through Worlds, like what's the story of the entire thing? So
I was gonna say, wait, give me a second there, Dom. You're giving our audience way too much credit right now that they're forming their own opinion. They're literally just listening to you.
I mean, the thing is, like, you can form your own opinion, and you can also be influenced by somebody that you respect. Like, at least by watching the games, they're able to see things in their own, like, with their own eyes, at least.
Sure. That I agree with. So, you know, Worlds lists, they're always fun. Can't wait for you guys to do yours with authority and then see how it bounces off with everybody else's, because a lot of the time we have opinions that people don't agree with. And Dom, when we get into TSM in the third place, you have one there. So
I have many there.
Okay, you have many there.
Yeah.
Let's move it forward. Okay, so the worst timeline has been complete. The fourth place team in North America has now not only qualified for Worlds, but has taken that #1 seed spot away from Cloud9, who didn't qualify. Sorry, Cloud9 fans. IWDC is a good time to use right now. TSM are your 2020 LCS Summer Split champions after... from what the broadcast tells me, huge performances from Bjergsen coming in, becoming MVP. We have a budding superstar in the jungle, Spica, right before our eyes. Broken Blade just gave Solo the dick the whole time, and Biofrost is better than Treats, and Doublelift tried his best to run it down in games 4 and 5, but thank God Solo was doing the exact same thing. Did I hit all the narratives that you wanted me to hit there, Tom?
Sure, all the narratives. I mean, my favorite narrative is that literally we're at the point where like Bjergsen wins MVP for every series he plays, regardless of how he plays and regardless of how he even thinks he plays. So even in the series where he thinks he's playing poorly, Riot is still giving him MVPs. So I mean, that's like my favorite narrative so far, is that like this guy could literally show up, like have somebody else play instead of him. Like he could have like Mabry come in, play fucking mid lane at a Diamond 1 level, lose every game, and they would still probably give him MVP at this point. It's
Sorry,
crazy.
Mabry. Sorry. Yes. But I think the way that I think about, I'm trying to, you know me, devil's advocate. He is the most valuable player on this team, right? Was the award best player of the series or most valuable player of the series? Because again, Yeah,
it's the best player of the series. What the fuck? MVP for like, you can say most valuable player is what MVP is for everything else. But of the series you're watching, the player of the series is that's such a weird way to view it, right? You can't be like, oh, Core JJ gets MVP of the series instead of Broxa if Broxa pops off because Core JJ is a better player than Broxa. Doesn't make sense. Like, what the fuck is this?
What did you send me in Discord, Ellis?
I don't know what this is. I really don't know what this is.
Go ahead, make your point, LS. I'm contemplating showing this on stream.
Maybe that's TSM woman. Like no one knows.
Holy shit! I hope fucking not. God damn it.
Oh, all right.
It's actually TSM woman.
LS, what are your thoughts on this? I guess this finals, this playoff run overall from TSM, and then we'll dive into the matches specifically. What the hell is this, dude?
I mean, I think I agree with Dom that Bjerg shouldn't have got MVP in the initial time. I think yesterday you can definitely make the argument for it, for sure, especially in the first 2 games. But I think that in general, TSM is pretty all over the place, and I think that a lot of people in their mind, it's just Bjergsen's always like the most consistent, or something else just must have gone wrong, but it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I don't think it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, I don't know. It reminds me of at LCK sometimes things just we actually had it most recently where Nuguri got player of the game, and when you saw the post-game votes and how Nuguri got player of the game, it was because he got 4 votes from the observers. The observer and media desk ended up actually being the swinging votes.
Nice.
And I know that a lot of the analysts and the color casters were very confused. And then also the English broadcast desk got a little bit shafted because we had to share one vote between 3 people. So
What?
I mean,
yeah, that was really weird.
What about how about Wonder in LEC playing the 5-game series against Rogue? He wasn't even on the ballot. He wasn't even considered top 3 players to vote for MVP.
Yeah, and you had Frostgurren say on Twitter that she didn't know what was going on with it either, right? Or
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's so crazy how like some players just get like so ridiculously underrated. Like I feel like Wonder is so insane. Like if I were to rate players right now in G2, right, it would be Caps is the best player on the team. Wonder is consistently the second best player on the team this split. Like I don't think there's any arguing that. But for some reason, this guy just can't win an MVP. Like people just forget about him. Oh, he plays WoW. So because he plays WoW, we're just gonna like reject the reality that he's performing super fucking well in LEC. It just makes no sense. But I mean, I think we saw the same thing here. We can get into the TL series, and I'll give more opinions on that specifically, because I actually think that the TL series was probably. I think Bjergsen played really well. I think he was the best player overall in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think the TL series was actually his worst series outside of maybe the Golden Guardians' first series that they played.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I unfortunately, like as I mentioned at the time before, like doing this, I unfortunately did not get to see Game 4 and 5, so I don't know what happened there. But obviously, yeah, there was some shakiness out of him in that series for sure. And then I saw what Dom tweeted and Bjergsen even replying. But I still have yet to watch Game 4 and 5 of that series.
Yeah, Game 4. So this is like how I kind of viewed the series. If we go into TL and TSM, like I thought Bjergsen played better than Jensen games 1 and Game 5. I think Jensen played better 2 and 3, the TF games, and I think Game 4 was like both of them made a lot of mistakes. Like Jensen had a lot of weird ults, or missed ults. Like he played pretty poorly in that game, and then Bjergsen also played pretty poorly in that game. He died 3 times early in situations where he shouldn't really be dying. Like he was just getting hit by skill shots that he shouldn't have been getting hit by, and getting CC'd and just dying instantly, which is uncharacteristic for him. Like normally, if he plays a game like that, a lot of the times it'll just be lost for TSM. But luckily for them in this series, Double has stepped up really well, and he ended up playing, probably his best series of the entire playoffs. So I think people had his back, and it kind of covered the times where he was playing worse than normal. So for me, it's like during the series, I just don't know how you can give MVP to a player that's like kind of struggling. I feel like people just wanted to say the narrative. It's Jensen versus Bjergsen, right? So they made it seem like this was just going to decide the game regardless. Like, dude, if Jensen go ahead.
No, I mean that also feels bad for Jensen, right? Because it probably is fueling the Jensen Bjergsen narrative, and then there's the thing that Bjergsen said in regards to like the Jensen Bjergsen rivalry, and obviously I think this compounds onto it, and it just makes it in a weird way. I mean, it's probably unintentional, but it does make it worse. For negative communities or whatnot, if that makes sense.
For toxic.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems weird because it feels like people just wanted like this game to settle the Bjergsen Jensen debate. Like winner of this game was just going to be crowned, like regardless of how they played in the series, whichever team won, they're just the champion. Like they're the winner of this round of Bjergsen versus Jensen. So it's weird. It's like it's because Jensen talked like shit or like bantered or whatever you want to call it, he's now getting flamed by the community, where it's like the community wants you to flame. So it's like this weird fucking thing that the community does where they like kind of gaslight you into they're like, dude, we don't have enough personalities. We need people to start like flaming. We need people to like, make the games hype. We need some rivalries. We need some shit talk. And then you do this shit talk, and then regardless of what actually happens, they just try to like turn it on you and be like, oh, well, Jensen's just like a salty little bitch, and that's why like he deserved to fucking like lose this series. Like it's super weird how they do it, because it's like, so what is the point? Like, why do you think that no one actually goes out there and talks shit? Because it just feels so much worse. Like you don't gain anything really if you win, and if you lose, you just get hard shit on by everyone. It's super strange, and it's not like this for LEC. Like LEC, people like banter, people shit talk, people like say they're gonna like smash, and then if they lose, like people kind of laugh it off. Like for the most part. Wait,
Come
what
on,
do you mean?
come on over to the fucking LC cave. You seen our trash talk segments?
They're great.
I have not. I have not.
Oh, you need to go and play them.
You've never
Wait,
seen
so the
it?
ones where
Oh,
they're,
you need to see it.
I've seen some of them where, like how they used to be, where they're like, I actually
No.
like respect
No.
this guy a lot, and he's like a good player, man. Like, and it's like, wait, what the fuck? Like, you're trash. It's like, I remember when I was growing up, like I was watching a ton of Faker,
Basically.
and I still respect him. And it's like, the fuck? I guess. Like, is that trash talk?
One of the trash talks from this past week was like one of the players asking the other one to go easy on him because he's so good. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I don't know about that trash talk, man. I don't know if I'm with it.
Retitle the segment, dude.
What is it? Like, what is that called? Is it like very
Korean
They
culture.
Call it trash talk. They call it trash talk, yeah.
Is it like,
Yeah,
let me compliment you backhandedly harder or something?
No. No. I don't know what the like. I don't know. I've asked Riot and I've said this is really weird to call trash talk. You realize that, right? Because all they do is compliment each other.
Yeah, that's right, trash talk.
It's
That's why I'm like
Oh, man.
literally the Antichrist. You know, they hear me say like Bjergsen doesn't deserve MVP, and they're like, all right, get him another year of co-streaming, man. Like, ban this guy again.
oh
Fucked up.
my god.
Like,
They
Yeah,
should just
we can
retitle the segment Honor Level 5. Like, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I'm still processing. Like, why is it it's a Korean culture
Hold on.
thing, but what in the Korean culture leads
No,
to
it's
that
not.
being,
No,
like,
it's
a
not.
thing?
No, it's not. Because they do trash
not?
talk, and
Okay.
that's why like sometimes there's been like threads and drama that has come out. You know. Hold on. Let me
wait,
find it. Let me find you a segment.
what was the
Here.
burger comment by
Here.
Bang
Here.
a couple years ago?
For the
2
love
years
of God,
ago?
just please play this on stream,
All
please.
Did you
I'm
like?
Okay.
like, oh god, we need to just need to take it in.
All right,
We
I'm
just need
I'm
to
letting you
take-
guys react. Remember, we're like 15
Alright.
seconds ahead, so I'll let you guys react. Yep, we're opening that.
Oh,
Fighting's not
yeah.
that easy.
This is it.
Fucking ads.
This is.
All right, so give us a little bit of context while it runs.
Oh, I mean, there's no way to capture the essence of how this is not trash talk at all.
How much of it are we gonna actually watch?
I don't know. I mean, you can
Let's
just
get an
you can
idea
just
of it.
skip around. You can just skip around through it. I
Oh,
guess
this is good.
this is. I mean, it's pretty good. The only person that like, yeah, I don't know, man. It's really strange. it's there's something's going on.
Saying they can't. I don't know if you tried to put it up yet, but
Did you put it up yet? Diego?
Oh shit! I did switch scenes. My bad. Oh my
Okay.
god, dude. It's fine.
It's good.
It's good.
You need to take it in.
Hang on, I gotta get our faces in there. This is ridiculous.
Oh my god.
hi. What? I watched your play and you're pretty good.
Dude, Dom's
I
about
think
to
I'm obsessed
explode.
with it now. Ah, come on. What the fuck is this?
Dude, smash already! What the hell?
What is
So
going
strange.
on? No, like I'm fine with this segment as long as you don't title it trash talk, right?
What?
Because it's
Like, what are you supposed to? You know what? This reminds me of a fucking video Cloud9 did, where they're like, in support of positivity and mental health, we're gonna be complimenting our teammates today. They're just like really like troll complimenting each other. This is literally what they were saying. Like it was like I like playing with Blabber because he makes the games always exciting, like some shit like that. This is literally
Oh
this.
yeah, I
man.
remember that.
It's actually the same thing. What the fuck?
so basically, yeah, the whole video is just like this. They just compliment each other and say like nice things about each other,
Yeah,
which
let's
is really
skip around.
strange.
Who do you want to see? Let's go get Showmaker.
Showmaker Chovy. Yeah.
Their intros are really funny.
I mean, I feel like that's like the one that's hype here. Out of all the matchups on these teams, like I feel like Showmaker Chovy is like the only actual matchup.
Yeah.
They're so nice to each other.
They're so nice to each other, right? It's actually like, I mean,
who
it's,
gets
it's,
the
it's
shade? Is it the is it the mid laners that aren't here that got bullied? Like who? No one's getting the shade.
That's what I mean.
This
I want to play well in the finals. Like, are they robots? Like, what are these statements? I don't think I could ever imagine somebody saying this like in real life.
look. This is the craziest thing that they said, so they had to highlight it and put it in bold here from Chovy.
Holy shit, that's spicy. Jesus.
No, but I've talked about this on the LCK broadcast. I'm curious.
Wait.
Is this actually what they're saying, or is it just like fucked up translation?
Wait, look. This is where I would, as a producer of if I'm knowing like the Korean style, I would laugh about this, and then you would pause, zoom into Showmaker's face right here as he takes that one right in the chin. Oh, my mismatch against Chovy. Yeah, fuck you, guy. And then he goes, no way. And then that's it. You just pause it right there, and then you put all that graphics like fucking lightning and smash the shit together. Because that's all you're gonna get from these guys. This is fucking awful.
I mean, it's so
Yeah,
weird because like now NA, even the people that used to trash talk, like don't even trash talk in like the good way anymore. Like Double of trash talks after the game is over, which is always just like the cheap way, you know? You're supposed to trash talk before the game, be like when Wonder's like, you ready for 3-0, that type of shit. Like, I respect that. It makes sense. It's like, okay, so now he's like got the confidence going into the game, so it draws hype. Now NA players are so afraid to do that. We only trash talk after the game. Where then Doubles will be like, "Oh, good luck in play-ins" or something like that. You know.
The real trash talk in Korea tends to go. I mean, it went away. Like Imp used to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like one of his most iconic lines.
Cry?
Yeah. Did you see him cry? Right. But if he said that nowadays, oh my god, they'd have his head.
Would they really?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Man. Feels bad.
Because in the Korean Korean community, something that's taken really, really seriously is, you know, the shaker name or the meme.
Yep.
That's taken really serious.
Why? Can you explain?
They
I actually don't know this.
They think it's very, very well because Faker, when the question was asked, he shut it down really quick and said that the guy was really out of line, right? Like asking that comment. I think that was really just not the timing or anything, right?
Sure.
But now I think when like any reference to that comes up, it's received very poorly here.
Damn, weird.
It doesn't get brought up that much, but like whenever, you know.
For context for everyone, I believe there was an interview. Was it at Worlds? When was the interview? LS?
Yeah, at Worlds.
So at Worlds, a player asked Faker about his
interviewer.
Shaking. An interviewer asked Faker about his shaking. It got dubbed Shaker, and then that became like a thing. It was poor timing. It was poor taste. I think when you have access to players post-match or pre-match, it's really about extracting what's happening, not creating something that was happening. And in that interview, to me, that's something that interviewer created, and probably not the best question. Unintentionally or intentionally, right? Yeah, I'm sure he probably didn't mean to do it, but you have to be very aware of how you're interviewing people. So that's why that came up. That's where that comment comes from. And so now LS is letting us know, not really referred to all that much. So,
yep.
And now Shaker's maybe not going to even make it into Worlds, so this guy just actually ruined his career.
Wasn't his fault? That wasn't his fault. They benched him.
Nah, it was his fault. I'm saying it was the interviewer's fault. He ruined Faker's confidence.
Yeah.
We blame him for everything that happens.
He hasn't won since then.
Everything that happens.
T1's winning today and tomorrow.
Wait, you actually think they're gonna win tomorrow? I think they'll actually end up beating Africa. I think Genji is just better though.
Mm-mm.
You don't think so?
No, I actually think T1 will win.
Well, only one of us.
I mean, they have the clutch factor.
Only one of us here works for Riot, so one of us has access to the script.
True. True.
So now I don't
Actually
need to
true,
watch. Good to know.
Yeah.
Faker turning into show Faker. That didn't work. We'll workshop it later. TLTSM. So we pushed the narrative a lot for Bjergsen. Jensen, what were your takes on the game specifically? You know, we can go through the ones that you know, LS, and then Dom can take over afterwards.
You cut out. What?
I think you cut out at the end.
Oh, I did. You can cover the ones that you knew through game 1 and 2 and 3.
No. What, you cut out the whole time. I heard you
really?
at the end. Yeah.
Wait, I heard him the whole time. What the fuck?
Oh,
okay.
I heard him just besides for the end.
I was saying, pivoted us to TL and TSM. We pushed the Jensen Bjergsen narrative. What stuck out to you in that series overall from the matches that you saw?
The TSM TL. I mean, it actually felt like it could have gone either way. It felt like I actually just thought TSM was doomed, to be honest. When I ended up ending my stream, I thought that TL was just going to end up taking the series. So I don't know. I was very surprised by the follow-up series. I don't have like a lot of super good things to say about that series. In particular, I thought it was like very strange, pretty much all around. Usually my normal complaints like about the draft and about the play, pretty much. I think that like the macro decisions by both of the teams are really, really, really suspect. It seems like decisions are wholly arbitrary. I think this was actually pretty constant throughout all of the LCS teams' playoffs, except for like Flyquest, except for the final series. Flyquest seemed like they had the most cohesiveness, pretty much between all of the other playoff teams. But somehow in the final series yesterday against TSM, that seemed to fall apart as well. But like, I don't know, like there was a meme on like my co-stream that was generated by Onion, which was like investigate, like because you know he knows limited English words, right? But there was so much shit that was happening in the game that he just kept saying to investigate if the players were getting PayPal. Investigation. So you know, I mean, that was.
I'm gonna start
that
using
was
that.
something.
I'll start using that.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Investigate.
Man.
Yeah.
That's the word that he
Well,
landed on. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess my takes for the series were that I thought Impact actually played pretty well in the series. Like, I thought he was solid for the entire time. So I'm just gonna go like, obviously you have the same problems that always happen in AA, like macro decisions. People are poor at setting up. People don't take enough of their advantage. Like when they're actually strong enough to like one-shot Baron or one-shot at Drake, they're just not starting the objective because they're so afraid to throw. Every single game in NA, the team that starts Rift Herald at 8 minutes like automatically loses.
Yes.
I don't know why this happens, but in every other region, normally the team that's stronger like starts the Rift Herald and they have like an advantage in that situation. But in NA, it's actually the opposite, where whoever starts the Herald literally instantly loses. Like flashes, the game, the Herald, something bad happens every single time.
Mm-hmm.
But these are like consistent themes. Like I'm not gonna harp too much on that because I've just said it so much. I'd say like for me, the takeaways from this series I thought the Teal's win condition was gonna be bot side. I thought Tactical and Core JJ up until this point had been playing like way better than Double with Bifrost. It should have been a huge advantage for TL. I was expecting TSM to mainly win through like mid jungle because Broxo was like fairly inactive in previous series, and Bjergsen had just been playing like the fucking goat of NA
Right.
For the majority of playoffs. But I thought Bjergsen actually had his worst series here. Like I know I had a bunch of LEC pros on my stream, and a few of them were saying that they actually thought Jensen played better than Bjergsen over the course of the series. I think it was like pretty much 50-50 is where I came down on it. I was like, okay, Jensen played better game 4, like up to like 30 minutes, and then maybe Bjergsen played better after 30 minutes, and then like game 1 and game 5 went to Bjergsen, game 2 and game 3 went to Jensen. That's where I came down on that like narrative. So I didn't really get anything. I didn't get any fuel for the fire either way for Bjergsen or Jensen. I thought the Impact actually looked really good in this series so far. Like he was not dying in lanes, even when he was at disadvantage, even when he was counterpicked with the Aurelian's GP. I thought he played the lane phase well. He just seems like he's really solid every single time that it matters. And that's like what I've always respected about Impact. Like, even when he goes to Worlds and people are like, these top laners are going to just shit all over him when he gets there. Famous one last year when he played against Damwon, Nuguri was supposed to just completely shit on him, right? Like, then he played the Klepto Vlad into Aatrox, and the Aatrox actually did well in that game. They ended up winning. They went 1-1 against Damwon. So I think Impact is always good when it matters. Respect him a lot as a player. Dellift and Biofrost stepped up huge here. I thought Broxa had like a good series for his standards, but he's just never going to carry the game. Like in game 4 and game 5, you put a real like carry jungler in those positions, like somebody who really knows how to take over a game, they're going to win the game alone. Somebody like Selfmade, somebody like Kanavi, somebody like Peanut, when they get those types of leads, like 30 CS up, like 3 kill leads on the enemy jungler, they just win the game alone. And Broxa still is like playing overly safe in team fights. He's not really like extending his advantage, because the whole thing about jungle is you always feel like there's a point where you're going to start falling off, where it's like, okay, up until like 30 minutes, it's my time to like shine, take over the game, etc. Once it hits that mark, the AD carries and mid laners are going to be able to pop off. So you see a lot of these like more aggressive junglers really like try to like force their leads, but it seems like Broxa just exists even when he's super strong in the game. SOFM too. So yeah, I mean, I thought that like, you know, Broxa, he played well in this series for like his standards, but he's still not like, even when he's playing well, he's not a top jungler who's going to carry a game alone. Jensen versus Bjergsen I thought was relatively even. Dellift, Biofrost, hard one where I felt like they were getting solo kills in a lane. I thought they should have just been losing. And Impact played a lot better than expected. I thought BB had a pretty poor series for his standards as well.
Yeah, I think Broken Blade, even from the Flyquest series, I mean, I'm like Broken Blade. I don't know why he goes for some of the picks that he does. Like Volibear should just never be in top lane. Even though he has like some counter matchups, he should just never be in top lane. His laning phase is also just giga arbitrary. Like there's no way he actually like knows what he's doing at some of the points with like what he chooses to do in terms of like trades or the wave. And so the arbitrary shit leads to very arbitrary results, where sometimes it just looks like he's really far ahead. There was one yesterday, like in the laning phase against Ornn, that I just thought was like really fucking weird when he was playing it live. And it's things like these that just make it so that it's very difficult to watch NA and like feel good about them going into international competition or something like Worlds and whatnot. I think like champion pool issues for TSM, even though they won all the series, I think that it was really fucking ugly, pretty much all around. I remember pretty much like every game yesterday, they only had like one good draft, and it was the first game. And then every game after that, it felt like the draft got progressively worse. And obviously this is like the final series. But for TSM TL, like I wish I had seen game 4 and 5 so I could comment more on like the mid lane matchup and other stuff that had happened. But you know, I was up like 24 hours at that point, so I ended up missing it. But yeah, I don't know. I think random is pretty much the way to describe that. Like I think if you rehave the series like tomorrow, TSM TL, I think you can just have a different result.
Yeah, of course. That's not a series where you watch it and you're like, damn, this team's gonna win 9 out of 10. Like I don't think TSM would win 9 out of 10 against TL. It just really depends on like who's playing better on the day. Yeah,
that's actually it. And I think your comments. Well, I mean, I've echoed the comments on Broxa pretty much year long. I even last year, so I'm with you in that in that boat.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up. It felt like after the game, all of our fellow Twitch chat, YouTube viewer, and armchair Andys that have fingers tweeted out that this was Brox's fault. Broxa got an insane amount of the blame, which turned into hate.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird that like when he plays bad, people just give him a pass. Like if he plays bad and they win, people think it's fine. And then if he plays like better than he normally plays and they lose, then they start flaming him. It's like people have no idea of what's actually happening in the game, and they just go like, "Oh, TL won. Yeah, Broxa must have done the right things." When TL wins, they give him an excuse for everything he does. Well, Broxa doesn't have to do anything in the games. He's playing with 3 dominant laners. If you have good laners, you don't want to do anything because you don't want to fuck up the game for them. Where it's like, I mean, I don't know. Carson has some pretty fucking good laners on top. He still does shit. Like I think the jungler should probably still be doing stuff. Yeah, Canyon has some good laners. Yeah. He still fucking does shit. So it's super weird how like the flame comes out. It's like it makes no sense.
If you want to see an example of like a jungler that doesn't really do anything and the laners are pretty insane, I mean, you look at DRX. But even Pioshik at some points manages to do some stuff, but generally not. Like I feel like it's almost the same boat. But we've hammered this into the wall so many times on different Facecheck episodes. If your laners are very dominant, it's very easy to look serviceable. It's very hard though to do the flip side when you're a dominant jungler and your laners are not up to par, which is why I think Closer has consistently stood out in NA.
Yep.
Yeah. So we hit it. I just wanted to touch on that because I feel like you said, hey, Impact played well, one of the best series that he's had, made Broken Blade look bad, and then you saw what Broken Blade and the rest of TSM did to Solo. You go down to mid lane, Jensen and Bjergsen, we covered, one did well in games 1 and 4. It was sloppy game 5, whatever it was. So where does this kind of attribute itself? And then we've said it's coin flippy, but where does this attribute, the loss to if it's not mainly on Broxah?
Bot lane, I've said it the whole time. It's just like bot lane just ran it down. Like if you're playing Core JJ and Tactical into Doublelift Biofrost, with the way the Doublelift and Biofrost have looked, like you're not expected to be getting solo killed in lane over and over again. And they just got solo killed in what, two games, 3 games? Like they were just consistently losing bot and just dying in weird ways. I think it was pretty fucking weird.
And then yeah, I mean that's all I had. I really wanted us to hash that out because and a lot of times I don't try to make points on here that I feel like I'm going out of my way to do, but in this case, like the amount of hate that Broxah gets is insanely stupid. So if you're one of those people, stop it. Like, if he has a bad game, you let him know, but you don't tell him, all these hateful things.
You should never personally go after people ever. Yeah. Like if you're talking about the person's playing stuff, like that's totally fine. But you should never personally target someone. If you're going on Twitter and like adding them, and you're like, you're sliding into their DMs or you're like tagging them on a Discord server that you might share with them, you're ill. There's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
So.
It's weird when people like you have analysis and then people tell you to like slit your throat over it. Like that's always super strange. Because
this happened on my.
Was like that he played bad.
Yeah, I hate when that happens to me, dude.
Like. It's really there was we had this happen on my co-stream yesterday. Like I don't know where the term flame gets thrown around, but when you're talking about someone's play and the decisions that they're making and the mistakes that they're making in game, it has nothing to do with them as a personal human being. It's just saying like the guy's not playing very good. What the fuck are you supposed to say? If what do you just want to just not comment? Like what?
Well, pretty much like they're all pro players, LS. So what you have to understand is they're better than you.
Oh, okay.
So unless you're better than them, you can't comment. But even if you do go play an LCS and you play better than most of these people, like let's say, for example, like Jensen, and you do start like talking, then you should still shut the fuck up because then you're just being salty. So yeah, that's where I stand on it.
I just wanted to cover that catch-22 position that players are in. Plus, there's a world where Broxah stays because of COVID and because of the impact that all that has. It might be a little bit too hard for TL to continue to shop around and you look to grow. Maybe not. So let's be nice to Broxah. All right. So TSM defeats TL here.
Sure. Be nice to Broxah, but just like don't be delusional and tell me that he's playing well. Like that's all I'm saying. Like,
that's fair. Be fair to Broxah. How about that? Be fair to Broxah.
Yeah.
Be fair to players.
Be fair.
All right. TL falls to TSM. And so quick day turnaround. We had Logic roll through and kill the stage. Did anyone stop and watch that? I thought it was for quarantine circumstances and no one at Riot being at the studio, other than I guess maybe the PAs that pushed stuff out. That was Dan and Joel. Shout outs to Dan and Joel. And whoever else was there. Maybe Charlie was there. You had Logic pop on the stage. You had fans there. You had the camera like put it right in that Flyquest dude's face. That was kind of like his mouth was right there. Did you like the opening ceremony? Did you like the performance? Before we jump into the game.
I actually did not listen to it because I have to watch muted.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm banned. So but I don't care about that type of stuff anyway. I mean, as long as it's not Jax Anderson licking me through the fucking camera, I'm okay.
It was not. It was not that.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
All right, fine. I liked it. It was sick. They said fucking.
What are these comments I'm seeing in your Twitch chat right now? I literally have a guy in LS's Twitch chat saying, I got banned in Dom's stream for having an opinion. I user him and he's literally just personally attacking me. Like, it's so weird. This off next guy is literally just saying, like, dude, what happened to you? Like, do you use some fucking hair products? Your hair looks really fucking gray. Like, what? Like, okay, man. Like, why is this suddenly brought up? It's so fucking weird. These people are such fucking animals. Okay. Anyways, I can't ban them, so I guess I'll just call them out on the stream.
Do you want? I mean, I can give you mod.
Yeah.
it's just super weird.
Yeah.
No, see, what I do is instead of banning
Twitch chat, should we
people,
ban that guy?
I like to engage in these conversations. I don't understand what the point of like lying is. Like when you're talking about a content creator, like why do you have to say like, oh, like Dom's being hypocritical because I got banned for having an opinion? What you like? What opinion, man? You literally were just spamming about my hair for like over and over again. What? It's so strange.
LS, are you still there?
You're over.
What the fuck?
Oh no.
Hello?
Oh wait.
Yeah.
I think my internet died. I think that's what it was.
The internet
Or
is dying.
is it LS?
It's still dying. Stream's
Hello?
good. Faces are frozen. Arms are sweaty. Mom's spaghetti. I don't know what's happening.
Stream's good.
Hang tight, everybody.
Not fine.
I'm lagging us.
Yeah, I
It was the Discord region. I just changed the region and it instantly fixed.
yeah.
All right.
Discord
So I
server's
just-
dying.
So it was just Discord. Okay, thank God. I thought it was internet. All
There
good.
we go. Easy fix.
Holy
everybody.
shit.
Nothing happened. Ban the guy.
All right.
That's the end of it. Give Dom.
I gave
mod.
you mod.
No,
Yeah,
it's fine.
give
It's
you-
fine. I don't need to ban anyone. I just don't understand like what
Dude,
the
I
point
did
of
a-
lying is. Like,
I did a mass unban yesterday on my
Why?
channel. Well, there was only 69 banned users. Normally, I never ban people.
Nice.
I know, right? What a coincidence on the number, but there was 69 banned users. But normally I never ban on my channel.
All right.
I don't know.
Okay. That was a really weird. How did we get here? I'm trying to unwind. Okay. Logic was sick. They said fucking on the broadcast like 5 or 6 times. They didn't curse him out, but
Okay.
they cursed him out when he said like shit. It was weird. But the performance was like
Wait, Riot did?
or like the broadcast, yeah, on the broadcast because they used his song. I forgot which word they cursed out, but in his lyrics he says like fucking owned or fucking something, and
Okay.
they didn't curse him out. They didn't bleep him out. He basically was a hologram on the LCS stage. It was sick. I enjoyed it. I'm glad that there was an experience that MasterCard was happy with, that they can continue to fund the LCS so that we still have something to talk about. All right.
nice.
Now we got through all of that. TSM
Censored.
Flyquest. It was a quick 2-0 for TSM, and Flyquest, as much as they looked like they had cohesion and the drafts were good and Boris did not, pop up right away, they didn't look like they were in sorts, and the game plan from TSM was very, 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 very clear. It was shit on Solo and have him explode. And I thought,
But it was
maybe
Solo's
the
fault.
wins
Okay.
was there.
One thing I want to talk about here is Solo did get like camped, but he was just misplaying consistently and opened himself up to dives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he fucked himself, and that's why he got camped
Fucked
or got
up.
ganked or like got dove a lot. He was trolling his lane phase. So it's so weird when like people do these like things where they're like, oh well, what can Solo do? He's getting camped. I mean, he can just play the lane phase like a human being and then not end up 0 mana at like 1/3 HP under his turret. If he's constantly 1/3 HP, 0 mana under his turret as GP, like he's gonna die. That's just what it is. Like it's not like there's nothing he can do. Also, I thought his item builds were wrong. I actually really liked. I talked about this on the LEC stream. I really liked what Bwipo did in his GP game against the Camille Shen, where like he was playing against Camille Shen, he was playing against the block, and it was clear that the plan from the enemy team was to just ulti on him on cooldown, Camille Shen on top of his face, ulti him, and he just ended up going Sterak second in that game because he's like, okay, I need to just survive. Like that is my goal for this game. I don't need to go SS3 for Leandres because I'm just gonna die a million times. And he adapted to the situation and played well and bought correctly for what was happening in the game. Solo was in the same exact situation where he was just getting dove by TF Camille over and over again. And he could have done the same thing where he would go for like, I think in that game, Pwipo went for Starex GA, and then he was just like undivable. And it forced G2 to make plays that they didn't want to do. I feel like they could have done the same thing here. Solo could have bought the same 2 items, just played to survive, not int the game alone, and it would have been a much more stable lane state. So, yeah, I just feel like Solo just didn't put himself in position to win. He didn't adapt to what was happening in the game, or like what the enemy team's team comp was designed to do. He just like let them kill him a bunch of times so he could be like, oh, jungle diff, I guess.
I mean, it felt like, I mean, TSM Flyquest, like they were up 2-0 and then they did the classic in game number 3, the random group mid for 500 gold dispersed across 5 members. That's my favorite. So they do that, and then FlyQuest got a hold of the game again. But I mean, throughout the whole series, like Spica was very off, except when it really mattered at some points. So I thought that was obviously very strange.
Some of the smites.
Yeah, some of the really clutch smites at several different points. I think Broken Blade should never play Jace again. By the way, Jace is one of those. He's one of those champions that not many people in the world can play. Like there's just a limited amount of people that can play it. And like, sure, okay, you're playing a lane bully champion that's very oppressive inside of laning phase, but when push comes to shove and you have to continue to pilot him at a very high level to make this champion pick proficient, you can't do it. Not only can you not do it, your team can't do it. So it's just one of those champions. And I'm not even like trying to flame him, because there's not a lot of people in the fucking world that can probably play this champion, because Jace is just not in a very good spot right now. So like when you're going to pick him, you have to be really on. And I don't care about his scoreline. I don't care about his fucking CS per minute or what his fucking DPM was. The reality is that from the positions that he was in as Jace, the game should not have kept going the way that it did at certain points. So I thought that was really weird. I think Doublelift and Bio at certain points, like the positioning and like things that they were trying to do, I thought that was very strange. And this like it segues back into the randomness that I was talking about from earlier, where like what the fuck was game 3 and 4? I don't even know. Like TSM was in really good positions, and then they just weren't in like the blink of an eye.
I mean, Doublelift just got caught a million times by like Hecarim. It's like he just didn't know what the champion did.
Yeah. Without flash on Ashe, I believe, because he. I think
but even like when he did have flash, it didn't make sense. Like he's literally standing in the middle of mid lane by himself with like his jungle and support like warding off to the side. He's standing in the middle of mid lane versus a Hecarim that's just sitting there with like Triforce Death Stance. It's like, yeah, the guy's gonna go on you. Like, yes, like I know AD carry is really, really bad right now because you can't win 1v1 versus the Hecarim like you should be able to. You should actually be able to just 1v1 a jungler at any point in the game. But in this point specifically, maybe you should be a little bit further back or like play around your support and your jungler that have a little bit of peel. Something like that I think would be beneficial.
Which is weird because game 3 was the Hecarim running him over in mid randomly once. They had the big team fight there where he flashed forward and had an opportunity to make a huge play and hopped over, I think it was the Solo's GP barrels, which was sick, but then gets hooked by Ignar. I thought that was a really fun sequence of events from both teams. And then the Baron start, right? In game 3 where Doublelift and someone else was hitting it and all of a sudden Doublelift gets ran over, they lose Baron, and then they just lost control of the game. Like that was when I was like, it was got caught 3 times in a row here.
Yeah.
It was Doublelift and Spica, and they get the Baron really, really, really low, and then they randomly turn, and Doublelift just gets Hecarim ulted into the middle of the team. And it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't know why they're starting the Baron there. I don't know why they're feeling so desperate. I mean, their team comp does get outscaled, but they're not playing their team comp with the kind of smoke and mirrors that they should try to play when the game reached that point.
I mean, it was really weird. Like, I know what you're talking about here, especially like the poking around Dragon. I thought was so strange. Like, your team comp is like a Jace comp, right? And you get to a Dragon, and Volibear E was out poking them, actually. Like, Volibear E was out poking like the Jace Syndra at a Dragon fight. It was really fucking strange. Yeah, you can continue with your point. I just wanted to like interject that.
That was pretty
example.
Much it. That was really
This series also brought us a rare Bjergsen Syndra loss. Like again, not really used to seeing that. There was I think there was one team fight where Oh God, it was when Broken Blade, it was around Dragon, Broken Blade TP's back in after getting low, and you're like, holy shit, here it comes. Flyquest is about to get okey doked right in the booty. And they just turn and walk forward because Bjergsen, I think, flashed over the wall, went behind Dragon Pit, and then just got stuck behind Dragon Pit as they just left, or everyone else in Dragon Pit, and Flyquest was able to turn that one around, and then Bjergsen gets picked off, and the game continues. I was like, this is just fun to watch.
It becomes a big fiesta really quick. It becomes a really big fiesta really quick. And like, I don't know if it's like the nerves because it was finals or what, but it just seems like there's a lot of individual misplays that you just don't expect. Like all the finals looked worse than I expected, at least. Like there was a lot of problems in every final, right? The LPL final didn't look clean by any means in terms of like individual play. Like you see a lot of these mistakes, but for some reason, even after watching EU, where I was like, damn, like this was a pretty fucking bad final in terms of play. Like there was so many times where Fnatic just ran it down like complete fucking animals. Like once they had a lead. Yes. So after that, I was like, I mean, NA, you know, let's see, maybe it's better, but somehow NA still manages to look worse. So I don't even know what to say about that. It's like even when other regions are inting, we're somehow just out inting them. Like I feel like if we just played it at a consistent level, maybe these teams would get worse, and you know we would be okay. But for some reason, it just becomes like a just complete throw fest in NA. Like these games just don't look the way they should. And then there's like such weird plays. Like, I mean, BB, I think, had a really good game 5. I think his game 1 and 2 were solid as well, or like fine as well. But that Jace game, like those Jace games were so strange. Like he was just flashing into the middle of the whole enemy team as Jace literally looked like he was misclicking his flash or something. And then also I just didn't like the build really from the Jace, like Jace into Orin. Obviously, like you can go lethality into Orin and then just ignore the Orin and like just focus on like grouping and poking. But I feel like there's ways where you can go builds that will be able to like kind of do a little bit of both. Like one thing that was referenced a lot in my stream from Febby was like going Mana Moon. Like Mana Moon is a really yeah. Mana Moon Jace is a really overtuned, or like just Mana Moon in general, really overtuned item. Super broken, viable on Jace, gives you the ability to split a lot better than full lethality does into the Orin, and you can kind of go like a build that does a little bit of both. I think that could have been more useful in the game. But yeah,
I mean, yeah, that I mean, he also went full lethality items in I think game 3, right? He went Umbral Glaive randomly very late, but
dude,
like
he went 4th item Umbral Glaive, man.
Yeah, I mean that's a Boris. I mean, I guess that's a Boris. I mean, broken Boris or dude or Boris Blade. I don't.
Broken Boris Blade.
He pulled out the Boris Blade. Oh my god. Fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
you know.
Well, that was another point I wanted to hit on. Other than that one, there didn't seem to be anything that was too crazy, right? Too crazy out there. I think I only got one tweet at me. We'll look at it, but like,
I mean, I think the building was better in this game than it normally is. That's for sure.
I can't find it.
Yeah,
that's fine. But yeah, building was better, so we covered a lot of those bases. Boris wasn't able to put his kid through college this series.
No, and I mean, game number 5. I mean, the game ended just so soon. It was over very, very, very early on, and we've seen this sometimes, right? Like the final game, or like what you assume to be the final game. We saw it in G2 Fnatic too. Like the game just ends so fast. And I don't know what obviously goes into it. I imagine that like it's also weird, right? Because Fly were the ones that were on the momentum swing, coming back into the series. So I thought that was really strange.
Yeah, but I mean, TSM has weathered all storms, right? They've been on the brink and been able to bring it back. Now, the flip side, they were 2 wins in and then had to stop the momentum here. So I feel like this is a TSM that is showing resilience, that is upward trending. Their bot lane look better. Their jungler looks better. Bjergsen and Broken Blade, other than Jace, did his job, right? So I do want to try to spin a positive like narrative here for TSM heading into Worlds. A little bit of a positive narrative to towards Worlds. Like there's a world where they can make it to groups or out of groups. They can make it.
They will definitely. I definitely think they can make it to groups. Like it'd be really fucked up if they somehow didn't. That would be a tragedy. So like out of groups, I don't know. Like it just depends on the draw. It really just depends on the draw.
What do we learn from FlyQuest after this series, LS? Did you learn anything new?
Well, I think my idea is that top lane is going to top lane's gonna have some problems at Worlds. I think that's reinforced. I thought FlyQuest would, even though they were in the finals and they might have even won LCS, I thought that they would have the most difficulty at World overall. Because the manner in which they win games is not something that is ever going to fly at Worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see them winning enough lanes to like get enough priority to do objectives. Because I mean, that's kind of how FlyQuest seems to win. Is they just win through like dragon control, just forcing soul, and then they get sold in the game. So they're just like one of those teams that tries to snowball through dragons. And because Santorin's normally like doing pretty well in the jungle, he can either solo it or like he's ganked the lane and giving them enough priority that they can rotate to it and take it. I just feel like these lanes are not going to hold up, and I really don't like the way that they draft. It seems like we can talk about the Caitlyn. Like normally Caitlyn's a super impressive pick. Ignar doesn't seem like much of a Lux player, even though he did pick Lux in the series. Like I don't think that that's something that he's particularly strong on, and like giving him support counter pick, I think he's just going to pick an engaged champion almost every time. I mean, they're playing Kate Pantheon, which I don't even know if is that even a good combo. Like I think it's pretty hard to land the Pantheon stun into the Kate trap. Like I don't even think that works. I mean, part of the reason why Morgana and Lux are good with Caitlyn is their binds are long enough to put the Kate trap down and actually get the full combo off. But yeah.
You can do it if you're both on the same page, but like instantly. If you're both really on the same page.
Yeah, I think it's just hard.
I just feel like as soon as you move up as Caitlyn, because Pantheon's in the bush, whoever starts backing up and you have to like double flash to put down the trap on top of the stun. Like it feels
you have to be really good
hard.
with Caitlyn.
Yeah, to do that. But I mean, Turtle is a Kate player, so he's been doing that for such a long time. But that did feel weird, didn't it?
Yep. I think the lane phase is weird. Also, like their answers to things in the series seem really strange. Like I really dislike the Victor pick into Zilean. Like I understand the idea of like, well, Zilean doesn't have a very good lane phase, and Victor doesn't have a very good lane phase. So like we can both just get through the lane evenly. We both can just like farm and scale. And that's going to end up just being like more useful for us because Victor is AoE champion. Zilean is going to be like only able to revive one person. So like in theory, it makes sense. But when you watch it out in practicality, it's like, damn, Victor takes so fucking long to turn on. Like it's not even like you just get your like hex score, your perfect hex score and your champion. It's like you need your perfect hex score. You need another item on top. I actually thought I didn't like Leandre's in this game. I would actually like to hear your opinion on Leandre's Victor here, but like he ended up going Leandre's when I think they had pretty much no like health stackers or anything. I thought it was like pretty weird compared to like something like the Lichbane or like some of the Victor builds we've seen before. But yeah, like it just seemed like a really strange game for Victor and like really strange build on top.
No, I think a lot of people forget this. Victor's ultimate hex score got changed. All of his abilities slow. So you get the max, you get the max burn on Leandre's. So you actually have Rylai's and Leandre's combined on Victor, basically.
Yeah,
that's new.
I guess that's fine. I still just think that it's like, I don't know. When I was watching it, it just looked like the item was not really efficient compared to like what else he could go. Like I feel like he should have went more of a burst build with how weak they were.
So like Lichbane.
Yeah, like Lichbane, or I think did he have an Ornn that game? I'm pretty sure he had an Ornn that game, so like an Ornn upgradable item could be nice.
I think that you can rush Death Crown because technically it's Victor's it's like his second item that you end up going. It's not like you're rushing it first item. So I think you can go Hex Core Death Crown. But the way that I think Victor has to be playing those fights is from a rank ideally, right? He's just gonna, if they're ahead, they're lasering and sieging with Kate and Lux, right? So the Leandre's is gonna be really good. I mean, he ended up going Lichbane, but I think going Hex Core, Death Crown, and then X item, depending on the state of the game, is probably good. I don't think that Leandre's on Victor in particular is bad. They had a lot of health though. They had Roa on Bjerg.
They had Camille. What was their team comp? It was like Camille, Zilean.
Yeah.
Let's see, TSM versus
Senna.
Yeah, and they had Cinderhulk, Dead Man's Play. Yeah, they had
Set.
a bit of health. But also,
yeah, I mean, it's not like there's
yeah.
a tank on the enemy. Well, I guess there is the set. I just felt like it like.
Also, he went phase rush on Victor, so he has more mobility than normally Victor would have.
What do you go on Victor? I normally see phase rush every time from like done pretty much.
Normally, when Victor's locked in, you dodge.
Okay.
Generally that's the play. I think the best thing to go on Victor is to not pick him. Actually.
Okay. All right. Let's say you do end up in the game, like you misclick and then you like, I don't know. Yeah. So what happens is like your client just DCs because you're in solo queue, and that's just how it happens. And like you're not actually able to dodge, and you think you actually picked Volibear top, but you end up with Victor top. So like, how do you actually like play it out here? Like what?
So you bought a 2080 recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I bought a calculator over here. So.
So I'm looking at Bjergsen's most recent solo queue pro build. He's the only one that has something different other than phase rush. He had electrocute, and he was going that burst build where it was hexcore into.
I mean, it would have to be versus some. Is it a versus melee or something? Like is he laning versus melee
Lucian.
champion? I guess Lucian's short range, so maybe he's trying to like
runs phase rush. Everyone's phase rush inspiration.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
I mean, no one plays it in KR and whatnot, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the thing is it's just not suited for the game right now, right? The game is about early dragons, and that's part of the reason why I think that Zilean is actually not that great of a pick. I mean, Bjergsen's just good enough on the champion, like he's really comfortable on it, so he makes it look good. But a lot of the things that happen in the game don't make sense around the Zilean pick. Like the Zilean is so OP for no reason. I feel like if for some reason Zilean gets through every single lane, even in CS. Randomly gets prio in lanes, can roam, like has the revive, scales well, lanes without a keystone. Everyone else gets a keystone in lane. Some people have spellbook, some people have phase rush. He just gets to lane it with glacial augment, rushes a Roa. He doesn't have that keystone for God knows how long, until he has his GLP. For some reason, like no one knows how to punish it. I don't know if people are just unfamiliar with the champion or what, but like this champion is not supposed to get through every lane phase this well.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Investigate.
Investigate. True. Actually, investigate. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so if you look at other laners that he's going to play into in Worlds, like let's look at the 1 seed from China, the 1 seed from Korea, the 1 seed from EU, right? Like these are the teams that NA should be compared to, or TSM should be compared to with these seedings. Like, do you think that Caps is going to like be playing Syndra into Zilean or Zoe into Zilean or LeBlanc into Zilean or any of Caps champions, and he's just going to let Bjergsen get through lane even in CS if it's Zilean versus any of these? Like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like Knight, Showmaker, if Showmaker's pulling out a Kali into Zilean, is he letting Bjergsen get through Zilean even farm? Like having prio the entire game? Like I don't know.
One of the things that I will say on like champion picks like this, like when you willingly like, and so in Korea they only pick Zilean generally when it's one of the good Zilean matchups. Generally he's a counter pick. If you blind him, there is such an abundance of champions that's good against him. But one of the things that can happen is that the other person's proficient at playing the matchups and you haven't played against it in forever. So even though you might have a general baseline understanding of like how to beat it or punish it, sometimes the other person can just resist because they might understand different things about the lane than you. And that can be very awkward and frustrating to play against.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Zilean seems like a more like annoying pick than a great pick.
Well, one thing that comes to mind is Malzahar. A lot of people, like, it's very easy to beat Malz in solo queue when you play against like mid laners that are just playing him to play his R, right? And just cheat their way through laning phase or in some weird instances win a world championship.
Okay. All right.
One of the things that gets really scary is when you face the Malzahars that like know his limits for like managing his mana pool and actually trade back regularly with you, or they just are really really good at his spacing and you can't actually abuse them. Those get really annoying to play against because obviously Malzahar, he has really strong wave clear even from level 3 with just his voidlings. So if you let him go for a moment, he just pushes right back. He doesn't need like hexcore or anything. You know, so it's kind of yeah.
I mean, I think that NA's best chance of getting out of groups of Worlds would be if teams just like they don't really prepare and they give TSM like all their comfort picks, you know? Like they give Bjergsen Zilean, they give Spica in Italy, like they just don't respect the team enough, and TSM just gets comfort wins where they just like are good on the champions they're playing, regardless of how good the champions are in the meta. It doesn't seem like anyone's playing like perfect League of Legends right now. So, you know, I don't think that many teams are going to be able to beat like TSM late game if Bjergsen's just been able to like play Zilean and, you know, got to late game like, you know, unharmed or like unscathed. I feel like you actually have to punish it early.
Is there another patch before we go to Worlds? I forgot.
I think it's 1019, the Worlds patch. Not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. I was trying to figure out if there's another patch beforehand that will throw you even more into the wrench. Because I like what you said earlier in the show where it's like, hey, all finals, so these are the top teams in each region, we're sloppy. We're not as good as what we had imagined them to be. And so I think there's a world where Worlds itself creates an environment that either makes people nervous, throws them off their game, whatever it is, that'll lead to opportunities for teams like NA, who are all kind of coin flippy on the day, right? To find success. So
yeah, I mean, I agree with that to some extent. I think the problem is that NA is like kind of coin flippy on like how good the players play individually, but there is like consistent macro mistakes. And even when like other regions are playing poorly, like for example, I think JDG had a pretty bad final. I think Kanavi had a pretty bad final in LPL. They still have like the good fundamentals that I feel like will really fuck with NA teams, like good support jungle roams early in the game, good vision control, and like even if they like troll fights every now and then, the fact that they have those like consistent pillars of their gameplay to fall back on, I think just puts them in a better situation. That it's like, it's not like if TSM plays against one of these teams, like TSM plays against JDG, they can just play like 10% better on the day and they'll end up winning. Like they have to play like substantially better than the enemy team individually to win, because they don't have like the like, you know, the auto win you know, mechanics or whatever that their team has like built in, where it's like, okay, we just know how to like choke out a team with support jungle. And if the other team ends up playing slightly better on the day, let's say they start that game and for some reason Yagao is really on one and Yagao just beats Bjergsen in lane, then it's just going to be like turbo doom for TSM. So that's like the main reason. Like, I don't think that it's completely unwinnable for NA. It's just like the chances are low for sure.
Ellis, you have anything to add to that?
No.
Before I pose the next question. All right. So the next question I want to ask, as we're getting close to the end of the show here, is I put up the list. What would it take for us to start believing in NA? Is it like achieving a certain stage? Is it like, hey, look, we're now in the semifinals, NA's top 4. That's good enough for us, and then we can believe in an NA team? Or like what does it take? Getting out of groups is good enough, because we're always going to have this kind of like, hey, we're sloppy and scrappy and we're going to definitely put on a show and give it our best shot punching upwards kind of feel.
We're not even scrappy. That's the thing. That's what's scary about NA, is we don't actually scrap that much. We're like very controlled, but then our macro is weak. So we're very like controlled and slow, but we don't have good game plans and fundamentals. So when it gets to like dragons and barons and setups and things like that, they're not clean enough to actually execute and be like, this is like a favorable position. If NA gets to a 30-minute dragon fight versus G2, they're just going to have like, they know how to set it up. They know when to burn. They know when to turn. They know how to play it perfectly. They know how to side lane, and that's going to be a victory. Whereas before, you know, the teams would have certain strengths, or regions would have certain strengths. So Korea was more controlled than China, for example, but Korea was very strong macro-wise. Like their setups were good. Their vision control was good. The way that they used Tracker's Knife when that was in the game was really solid. They would set up good vision pockets and play around those vision pockets well. So even the fact that they were slower was still like a strength of theirs, because they could get themselves in winnable game states. LPL has always been a really scrappy region. It's always been a really all the LPL teams are really aggressive. They take a lot of fights, but they set up those fights well. They do a lot of good support roams. They play around specific power spikes. I think the Dragon meta really benefits LPL in general, just because they like to fight, and now you have like, you know, more definite things to fight around. So they have that strength there. I don't really know what NA's angle is, besides for we play some picks that other teams don't play, which is why my point earlier was the only way I see NA doing well is if teams disrespect NA, or NA just comes up with like some really niche picks that people just don't completely understand, and they pull them out in games. They get a couple of these champions in multiple different games, and they can kind of like cheese out a group stage.
I mean, I don't like everything NA's best thing is weaker than every other region. Whatever you want to call NA best at, they're weaker than every other region. That's just how it is. So in what universe does anyone slate them to ever be considered favorites to get out of any group? Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, let's do that.
They're not better. They're not better mechanically. They're not better macro. They're not better at drafting.
Yep.
They don't have anything special going for them this year in terms of like picks. There's no super star-studded powerhouse players that are just going to, dominate. This is the worst year for NA going into Worlds.
And it's the hardest year.
That's just the sad reality. It's the hardest year and it's the worst year for them in terms of team strength that's going in. All three of the teams are relatively evenly matched, and it's not a good look. If you had a 3-on-3 like Rift Rivals or something with EU and NA, EU would just come out on top. This is not including LPL and LCK. So in what world do you ever put them as the favorites in any of the groups? It doesn't make any sense. Like, and I mean, this isn't shitting on them. It's just like, what the fuck, you
need a Machi Esports in there, man. You just need a Machi Esports in your group, or it's go next.
You need the team that's above NA in your group to get sniped by the other two random teams, and then just have a disaster game against NA once, so that NA is 1-1 against them or something. Like that could be a world, right? Like that's it.
I mean, it's happened, right? Team Liquid beat DRX, so not that was a disaster game, but like it
no, that wasn't a. Yeah, but TL was much stronger, I think, last year than any. Relative to the tournament than any team.
I agree. I just wanted to say there was a precedence for it. So what I wanted to do was let's look at TSM here, because they are our number one team. Oof. That's awful to say. And put them up against the number twos of any other region. Are they better than Fnatic? Are they better than DRX? No. Are they better than JD?
No.
Okay.
I think so.
So that means TSM is going to get one of those number twos, right? I'm not missing any region. Okay. So you can get TSM, and let's throw in the hardest one. Like, let's throw in what, JD or DRX?
Well, the thing is, like, so there's multiple different pool twos. So for example, here China gets 2 pool twos, right? So
my bad. So it's JD.
So like Suning, it's JDG or Suning, but Suning is pretty fucking good, man. I actually really like how Suning plays, but I'm a jungle fanboy, and I love SOFM. Like, this guy is just a 1v9 jungler. He's just carry jungler. Besides for the fact that he builds Warmogs every single game for some reason, I think he's really sick. So maybe you could get Suning in there. But the thing that you have to hope for is one of these teams like really underperforming in group stage, which we've seen before, right? Like FPX really underperformed last group stage. They're almost losing to the wildcard region. Like, they played really bad, so it can happen, but the teams need to actually play bad.
Also, I didn't realize that our seed 2 is actually pool 3. We're the only region that has that, right?
Yep, we are the worst region, Digon. Yes. Fuck, man. No. I hate seeing that.
That hurts.
Well, it's almost doomed for you. Because if you're a pool 3, that means you're guaranteed 1 pool 1 and 1 pool 2.
What is the best thing that Flyquest can pull here?
Or is it? I don't know.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. You that means you're gonna play G2, Damwon, or top with JDG, Suning, Fnatic, or DRX.
I guess you gotta hope for. I
top
guess you
DRX.
Gotta hope for,
G2?
like G2 DRX. I think.
The pools are definitive, right? The way that Riot's doing it.
Yeah. Okay. They're not.
It's all over.
It's all over.
It's all over. Maybe if there was a world where like 3 NA teams could end up in one group.
And then we've got our 4 favorites to get out. The PCS region is actually, the third favorite. But
actually, I think what you'd want for TSM. So the more I'm looking at it, the best group for TSM possible So they're the 1 seed, right?
Yeah, they're the 1 seed.
They're the 1 seed. You don't actually want the European 2 seed in your group because you want to actually get Mad Lions, which I think would be a 4 seed. So you want Mad Lions in your group if you're TSM because that's like at least the most beatable European team. So you actually want a really strong. You want like JDG in your group or DRX in your group.
DRX is the most beatable Korean team. Going to Worlds.
So I would say TSM's dream group would be TSM, DRX, Machi Esports, and Mad Lions. That's probably the best fucking group they can get. Unless, obviously, the playing teams is like you get like a wild card team.
Yeah. Mad Lions or... Yeah, I mean, if TL doesn't qualify, then, you could be playing Rainbow Six or good old Legacy Esports. Legacy Esports, this is their return back from... Season 3?
Yeah.
I think they were the Season 3 IWC qualifier.
It's rough in OP. Dude, you don't want to talk OPL. I actually watched their finals. It's so crazy. Like, the enemy team has Kassadin, and they're drafting triple AP topside into Kassadin. Like, it's next level crazy.
Nice. They worked through it. Nice. Yep. Sorry, Oda. All the Oda fans. I don't know how many Oda fans we have. But yeah, so the idea is that Talon, PSG Talon... Why is PSG investing in a PCS team? Anyway, Paris Saint-Germain, Talon, moving from Europe now over here. TL, Mad, and Mad Lions and LGD would qualify. God, that would be crazy if one of these other teams got out. That'd be sick.
Yeah. Who could get out there? I mean, it's literally Mad Lions, LGD, TL, and then the 4 seed could be what? Unicorns of Love, I think, is pretty strong.
Yeah.
I'd say they're probably favorites.
No.
I don't know PSG Talon, so I can't say them. But I would say Unicorns would probably be the strongest.
Unified is a familiar name. Sorry, go ahead.
One of the things, like I say this every year, like the Japanese teams every year get better and better because they scrim with China and Korea. That can't be understated. You know what I mean? Like.
Yes,
they are progressively getting better every single year. Like the speed at which NA can't really match. Like NA, what does NA do? They can scrim.
They can scrim
Rainbow Seven,
right?
the most winningest team in Latin America.
Wait, what did you say? What did you call it?
Did I just say Mexico? Like what the fuck?
Yeah, why did you say Mexico? Holy fuck! What
the
fuck just happened?
Wait, is that the proper way to say it?
That is the way that Mexicanos would say it. Los Latinos.
What? Jesus Christ.
Fuck?
Yeah.
Mexico. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. They can screw Mexico.
I'm just introducing
hold on, let me fix that.
LS Rivera over here.
Fucking Atrox, let me get that out of my system really quick.
Atrox and Tajiks and Mexico.
Tajiks. Oh, that one gets me.
It's
nothing will ever.
Dude.
Like the one that got me more than anything else was when Freak used to say Needly for no reason. Like everyone just agreed it was Freak used to say Needly instead of Nidalee. How long ago
is that?
It was like season 1, season 2,
okay,
season 3.
I was like,
just
that must have been before my time. I don't remember that.
There's only one thing I hear you say that's wrong, right? Which is it's Dom one. Like
Dom one? Oh, I say Africa
one.
instead of like Africa. I say Africa instead of Africa.
Okay.
That's one.
Dom one. Everyone says damn one, but it's Dom one. Yeah,
Dom one.
Like your name, Dom one. Yeah. There you go. Fixed.
Everyone just spams Africa in chat when I say it. Come on, man. Let me just call it. I'm not saying Africa. I'm saying Africa, but I'm just saying it fast. I'm saying Africa, like that. Come on. Whatever. Fuck it.
All right. To answer your question, NA can scrim Rainbow 7.
So I've actually heard that some of the LAN. I've heard that the LAN teams, the like top LAN teams, actually give better. So I talked to C9 Academy, and they scrim like bottom LCS. They scrim all of Academy and they scrim LAN teams. And they think that some of the LAN teams are better than the bottom LCS teams at this point. And there are like LAN players that are doing extremely well on the NA ladder this season compared to like previous years. Where before it was like LAN players were considered a joke. There's a couple people that even like when I was playing a lot of solo queue earlier, there was one guy, his name is Jose Diodo. And I think this guy's like, he's on like a top 4 team in LAN, but this guy I actually thought was a good jungler.
This is this is what happens in every esport, by the way, is that initially wildcard regions are sort of like a joke because there's no infrastructure or staff to help the actual like good players that could move at the speed of other top players because there's no information that is going to them. They don't have the means to actually practice. They don't get the same information. They don't get the same things. So they tend to be slower than other regions. But when like franchising and more established things exist, or if the esport exists for a very long time, you get monsters coming out of like wild card regions. Like one of the most standouts, right, is Tekken, Pakistan. I forget the name of the guy.
Yes,
he's like a god.
Chat, help us.
And he just comes from Pakistan.
What about
like,
the guys? What about some male in Dota 2?
But it wasn't until like YouTube and streaming and shit that this guy could exist.
Samael's a beast, yeah.
Because you don't get the same information. This happened in StarCraft 2. It's happening in like Warcraft 3, now in like China and stuff, where like because of the internet and because of like Twitch and YouTube and all this other shit, advantages that like the top region, like LCS, right? They had like team houses, staff, they had fucking salaries, they have actual
FBI.
regions to practice. Yeah, I mean, this is what's happening. It's not that like players from these countries are inherently fucking, they're not worse. No, they just have less to fucking work with, which is what pisses me off when people talk about wildcard regions. And it's also really weird why people never look to wildcard regions for talent that can come from them.
Well,
hey,
I mean,
really
Dom just did.
Hey, let me tell you, I was talking with TL. So there was a jungler from Latin America named Ader. He's played in like a couple world championships, I think, at this point.
Yes,
And I was talking with this guy from season 6, trying to get TL to pick him up. Like, he was somebody who I like when I was looking for my replacement, because season 5 I like wanted to start either full retiring or looking for a replacement to split time with. Because I like didn't really want to play that much anymore, and I was still under contract. So Steve was like, "Okay, if you can find me a good replacement, then like we let you retire and all that stuff." I was looking at Moon, Dardoch, and I was looking at Adi, and I kept on trying to get Adi to join TL, but he didn't want to join TL unless there was like one other native Spanish speaker on the team, and Quas was no longer on the team at that point, so he didn't end up wanting to do it. And he just retired. But I thought this guy was actually really insane. I thought this guy could be like a world-class jungler, honestly. And yeah, I mean, I just feel like a lot of people they just disrespect them because of the region they're in. Like, one player that I thought was really good when I was in OCE was Lost, who's now in TSM Academy. I thought this guy was like really insane. Turns out that like FBI has been outperforming him recently, but Lost, man, everyone in OCE knows him. Like
Fudge
Lawrence,
OCE.
Fudge is really good too.
Yeah, Fudge is from OCE.
I see chat spamming Levi.
Right, Oma. Oh wait, never mind. My bad.
Oh God.
Okay.
So, but that's the next point, right? You can uncover some fantastic talent in a different region, but then struggle to develop it. Even here, with a lot of our resources based off of a multitude of factors, whether it's like you don't know how to develop talent, or maybe it's because the culture shock's not there and the things that you put in place to fix that aren't there. Maybe they get sucked into the black hole that is North American solo queue, like streamer life. Like, there's so many other different things that can lead down to that. Go ahead, LS. What was your point?
No, I'm trying to look it up.
Hi,
really
Fudge.
quick.
Sorry,
like
Fudge as well. Fudge is a beast over for Cloud9.
Yeah.
No bias.
No, I'm trying to look it up. Keep going, D-Gon. Keep going.
One thing I wanted to say is like kind of the same point that LS had with like Japan getting better because they could scrim like the best Chinese or Korean teams, things like that. I think the same thing goes for UOL. Like, that's why we see like the Russian teams always be like decent, is they can scrim regional league teams, the top regional league teams, and they can scrim like bottom LEC teams.
Right.
And I think that actually helps them a lot as well. So I feel like UOL will most likely do well. Also, if you look at the region, right? I don't remember if it was this year. Was it this year versus Clutch, or it was last year? One of the years, the Russian team went to 5 games with the 3rd seed from NA. Like, the NA team didn't make Worlds. Maybe it was C9. Maybe it was
Wasn't it Albus Nox?
No. It was that was like season 6. It was a different. I think maybe it was Gambit at the time. I'm not sure. Or both years, maybe.
Both years, Gambit versus TSM. It was Diamond led
TSM. No,
Diamond led.
I'm talking about 2018, 2019. TSM wasn't at Worlds.
There's a player from there's a player from Mongolia that plays on Korea, and he's challenger.
Oh, that's the
ping.
deep cut. I was like, what are you searching, dude?
Yeah. There's a player from Mongolia that plays on Korean server. And he's challenger on Korea in the ping.
How bad is the ping from Mongolia to?
I think it's like 100.
Holy shit!
Or it's like 90 or something. Like it's something.
I was raised in the 100 ping, dude. I'm from Miami, so like the servers used to be in LA. I was from Miami. I was raised on 86 to 100 ping.
Mm-hmm. But when you consider the disadvantage that guy's playing in, he's playing against people that are on 7 ping, and he has 100.
What does he play? Jungler?
Yeah, he's a jungle.
But
still, I mean,
with high ping
yeah,
like that,
I was gonna say, like,
much.
Still, I mean, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, jungle's the mind roll.
Couple notes before we close it out here on the Worlds thing, because you brought up the Japan team. The Japan team that is going, it's V5, V3,
yeah,
V3, Rainbow 7. So it's V3. They beat Detonation Focus Me, which has that same roster that we've seen for years now.
Dude, I respected that roster because they had that one guy, DT FM Saros.
I've known
this guy. I always thought this guy was. Yeah. This guy was garbage, man. He was literally Diamond 4 in Korea, like negative win rate, Heimerdinger one trick. Like that's like one of the reasons why I never respected the Japanese teams. And I was like, if this guy is the best in the region, this is the best mid laner they have, it's doomed, man. It's really fucking doomed for them going into the tournament.
Yeah. Well, that's the team that they beat, so we will be having a new representative here. I'm trying to remember. Was Paz one of the guys? I'm just looking real quick. Yeah, Paz used to be on Detonation Focus Me, I think.
Ellis, what are you gonna do for the next couple weeks? Are you gonna actually like investigate any of these wildcard regions? I might actually do some streams where I investigate some of these wildcard regions. Like
I have regionals for the next 3 days. So
yeah.
I'll be watching yeah.
Well, you already gave us the script. We already know what it is. T1 to Worlds. There's no other way around it.
I didn't even watch the series today. I was gonna watch the series, but I just thought KT had 0 chance, so I just didn't even bother. Because I guess Africa doesn't lose to anyone that's worse than them in the standings. You know, so I guess that's the meme.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't know. I have stuff that I'm doing in the next few weeks, but it's not like public yet. But then obviously Worlds. I don't know about Worlds yet. By the way, just throwing it out there. So I speculate that I'm not invited. But it's pure conjecture, and the reason that I speculate is because historically Riot has always invited in week like 7 or 8. Although I was told in week 10 that invites still had not gone out, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I would put a damper on that just because we are in weird times.
Yeah,
we're in very different
we are
times.
Right, which is okay. So I'm saying is I don't know.
Let's be real. You're not even getting invited to the fucking analyst segments for LCS, so. I don't know how you're going to get invited to Worlds. Like, I don't know how many fucking viewers you're going to need, but if you're struggling getting the analyst segments, you're getting sneaky and Meteos out of those, it's probably doomed.
It's because I'm only a 40 to 50K Andy, so it's not big enough.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. No, that was the thing about us. That's why we were never really promoted, is we just like didn't have enough viewers.
Makes sense.
All right.
That's all.
With that, I think that's going to close it up here. TSM, your 2020 North American champs, Flyquest, a number 2, but actually a number 3 seed at Worlds, and TL relegated down to the play-ins and trying to avoid being the first major region not to make it out of play-ins. I didn't verify that fact, but I think that's true. Guys, so we'll do a couple of episodes of Facecheck in preparation for Worlds, and then we'll have your Worlds coverage as well. Stay tuned on Twitter. Follow LS with the LCK stream for the next several days as we find out who the final member of Worlds will be. We already think it's going to be T1, but not 100% sure. Any closing thoughts before we close it out, guys?
No, I mean, we gotta pray for that group. Everyone, pray to the fucking Machi Esports gods and Mad Lions to be in the TSM group if you want a chance right now.
Oh yeah, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. We'll cover the group stages, or the group draw.
Wait, so that's on the 15th?
Yeah, it's on Tuesday.
So should we move the show to like, I don't know, a later date so we can actually do it?
We should. You know what we should do? We should live view it. Since we can live stream it, we can live view it.
And then jump into Facecheck right after? What would be the plan? Else, what
I
do you
mean,
think?
it would be the face check episode would be us live viewing it and then giving analysis maybe for like 30 to 40 minutes afterwards because we're probably going to talk about it the whole time. Do you think this is a good idea? I think this is a good idea.
I think that's fine.
I don't know
All right,
if I
let's
see enough
fucking do
Poggies in there.
It seems like people want it. Yeah, well, let's 3-man live view group stage or a group draw, and then we'll comment on it afterwards.
Yeah,
That can be a faith pick episode.
I'll double check the schedule to make sure it works. But if it works, let's do it.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
All right.
everyone. Thank you so much for watching. LS Dom and myself appreciate you guys. Thank you for knocking out another LCS season, and we'll catch you for the draws. Bye. Be nice to each other. Wear a mask.